No sooner had Brahma brought forth the Vedas, than two creatures crawled out from the earwax of Vishnu. One of them began craving for honey, to satiate his hunger, and so got the name Madhu. The other brother resembled an insect, or Kita, and came to be known as Kaitabha. Unaware of where they were, they glanced around in utter confusion. Feeling famished too, they searched for means of sustenance, but all they could see was infinite water surrounding them. Madhu and Kaitabha began feeding on this nourishing fluid, and grew immensely mighty. As their bodies grew large, so did their heads, for they were now filled with arrogance. Supremely confident that they were the masters of this realm. The creatures began exploring the cosmos. As they wandered, they came upon Brahma sitting atop his lotus. The brothers instantly confronted the Creator. "Who are you? How dare you occupy that floral seat meant only for the exalted?" they growled in fury. Brahma kept quiet, which further inflamed them. "Either come down and accept us as your sovereign or prove your worth by defeating us in combat." When the Creator did not comply, Madhu and Kaitabha began shaking the lotus stem to topple him. Poor Brahma clung to the flower, but the Vedas slipped from his hands. Gliding down, they fell one after the other through the cracks between the petals. The brothers hid them under water, and began threatening to decimate everything that Brahma had brought into existence so far. Panicking, the Creator now turned to Vishnu, "O protector of the universe, I beseech you to come to my aid. Are you not aware that I am no match for creatures born even from your dirt? How can I carry out my appointed task of creation, if you do not ensure my safety? Why must we draw a circle, if the ends cannot meet? Do you hear me, Lord? Do you hear me?" Alas, the preserver had already entered Yoga Nidra, that dreamless state between being awake and asleep, that made him oblivious to everything. Brahma kept shrieking, but Vishnu barely stirred. Madhu and Kaitabha began cackling, but Vishnu remained impervious. Finding no other recourse, the Creator now invoked Nidra, or sleep, to awaken the god. "O Nidra, it's by your power that Narayana has fallen asleep. Pray, liberate him from your embrace. Let him rid us of these two brothers, whose senses have overpowered them, who are so smitten with what they are seeing, that they are wrongfully coveting it. Release him, Nidra. Release him." Nidra responded to the plea, and the preserver opened his lotus eyes. Seeing Brahma's predicament, he realized at once that all of creation was in peril. Vishnu immediately began assuming a new form to combat Madhu and Kaitabha. Brahma gazed at that lustrous mane, that equine avatar. The god had become Hayagriva, the horse-headed one. As the battle raged, Vishnu found himself unable to slay the pair. When one brother would tire out, the other would engage. 5,000 years elapsed, and the preserver became completely exhausted. He fathomed now that physical strength would no longer work. These two creatures would have to be foiled using games of the mind. Laying down his mace, Vishnu folded his hands and addressed them in a tone most honeyed. "Bravo! I bow before your skill. You both are truly incomparable, unconquerable. Paying homage to your power, I would like to grant you both a boon. Name anything, and it shall be yours." "A boon from you?" Madhu and Kaitabha sneered. "From a weakling who stands petrified before us? Whose blue skin has turned even bluer out of fright? We are victors, and victors do not beg for boons. They hand them out in charity. Ask us for a boon. Ask and you shall have it, anything, anything." This was the exact turn of events Vishnu was awaiting. The cue had arrived. His face creased into a disarming smile. "Grant me then that I may kill you both." Silence. As his words sunk in, the brothers realized that they had walked into a trap with eyes wide open. But word had been given and there was no going back. With death looming large, their instinct for survival kicked in. Looking down, Madhu and Kaitabha saw how the waters were stretching around them endlessly in every direction. Making one last bid to save themselves, they chorused, "You may take our lives, but on one condition. Slay us in a place where there is no water." The Hayagriva smiled again. Spreading his arms, he began growing in size. Larger and larger. Larger and larger. Larger and larger until they could no longer see his face. Only his form, towering above the water like a blue mountain. Blending with the blue sky. Placing Madhu and Kaitabha on each thigh, he beheaded them. Born from his ears, they perished on his thighs. Since Vishnu thus killed Madhu, he acquired the name Madhusudan. "Looks like the more I create, the more forces shall arise to annihilate," Brahma said. "Keep saving us, Narayana, like you just did." "Perhaps I did nothing," the preserver replied. "Perhaps Brahmanda saved itself through me." Retrieving the Vedas, Vishnu now removed meta, or fat, from the corpses of both the brothers and instructed Brahma to use it to create land on earth. Hence, earth would be called Maithini and its soil would be considered unfit for consumption. The remaining portions of the two bodies disintegrated into 6 pieces each, forming the 12 seismic plates of the earth. Perched atop his lotus, Brahma resumed creation, hoping that his path ahead would be tranquil from Haran. But his troubles had only just begun.